I looked around, gasping for air. Water was everywhere. I'm alone in the middle of the ocean, torn. Such a terrible thought came to my mind, and then I screamed. 3 hours earlier. You're not serious, are you, Liz? Of course she's serious. We've known each other for a couple of years, but I still can't accept her insanities properly.
Come on, it'll be fun.
Really? We know them for 3-4 hours at most.
So what? They showed themselves from the best side.
I thought we're going to spend time together. We've been planning the vacation for a long time.
It'll even be more fun with you guys, you'll see. Especially since he's so handsome.
Without specifying anyone exactly, the friend casts a dreamy glance to the guys. I sigh and turn, smiling to the guys, waiting for our decision. Well, why not? Moreover, Ted and Adam are pretty handsome, especially Ted. We met at a nightclub, and now we can continue our communication on the yacht. Maybe it will start something new? I glanced at my friend, jumping up and down impatiently, and nodded. Shrieking joyfully, Liz rushed to hug me. Guys smiled satisfied.
You won't regret it.
Liz exclaimed enthusiastically. Now. Liz! A wave covered my head, but I immediately surfaced. Keep calling my friend Liz.
Tess?
I almost cried with relief when I saw Ted swimming towards me. The guy's hands confidently flew over the water. He didn't look tired and scared. Well, some of us has to be sane.
Here. Don't panic. I'm here.
I clung onto the life buoy and could only nod at his quick, jerky phrases.
Have you seen anyone else?
No, I sobbed.
Don't worry. I'm sure they're here somewhere.
Ted smiles encouragingly, realizing that he scares me. Adam appeared behind the sinking yacht. A thin blood trickle runs down his forehead, but overall he seems fine. I look pleadingly at Ted when we all hear a scream. It's Liz. Ted swims to my drowning friend in a couple of wide strokes and holds her head above the water. Me and Adam swim up next. Staying on waves is getting harder and harder. Strength is running out.
I saw the island. We need to get there.
Ted takes leadership, but everyone is okay with it. We're scared, and Liz is completely unconscious. Perhaps she's injured and urgently needs medical help, and we can find it on the island. Ted swims forward, keeping Liz's body afloat. Adam and I give each other a life buoy. Finally, I feel the ground and see a sandy beach. I fall on the sand and catch my breath. I hear guys heavy breathing and barely getting to my feet. I wander to Ted and Liz. He, not wasting time, is already giving her artificial respiration, and soon Liz, coughing, spits water out. Laughing happily, I hug Ted and whisper words of gratitude. Suddenly, his strong hands squeeze my waist, and his lips slide over my cheek. Just for a second, but I feel like it's no accident. He wanted that touch. Confused, I shift my attention to my friend. She looks at us, narrowing her eyes angrily. Hey, how are you? Are you okay?
I almost drowned.
She answers sharply.
Do you think I'm okay?
I don't like her tone, but I still smile at her affectionately, stroking her back. She's just experienced terrible stress. No wonder she doesn't want to chat with me.
What are we going to do?
Adam is coming closer to us. Perhaps we can go inland and look for help. The guys can go and check the situation. What do you say?
I'll say why the heck you think you're the main here and can decide for others.
Liz snaps angrily.
I don't mind going with Adam. That's reasonable.
Ted answers hastily before the scandal escalated.
And you'll leave us alone on the beach? I'll go with you. Tess and Adam will wait.
Don't talk nonsense. You almost died just now. You need a rest. I look at the guys pleadingly.
Ted and I won't go far. Just take a look around. And you'll wait for the rescuers on the shore.
Splitting up, we double salvation chances. While you are watching the horizon, there's a chance someone lives on the island, and they are connected to the outside world. We can call rescuers. Ask them for food and water.
What if there's someone bad there? What if something happens to you while you are wandering in the jungle? Or with me or Tess? Will you just leave us?
Her voice is trembling. I'm worried about my friend and helplessly look at Ted.
It has a point, too.
He nods after a while.
then I suggest we decide what to do. If the majority votes for waiting for help on the shore, we'll do so. Personally, I insist on exploring the island. Since Liz needs to restore, she'll stay on the shore anyway. The question is, who will go with me?
I think we should go deeper into the island.
Adam says.
But if Liz is afraid to stay on the shore, I can stay with her.
I follow Ted, but I'm thinking over the conversation on the shore. Liz behaved so strange. I jerked my head up and frowned at Ted, who turned to me. Excuse me?
Are you okay?
The guy repeated, smiling condescendingly. Totally. I tucked a hair strand behind my ear and nervously looked back. I thought I heard footsteps, but maybe it was just a trick of hearing. My nerves were tense. I felt tired and nervous, but now I felt grateful to Ted. Thank you for helping Liz out of the water, and thank you. I felt like a complete idiot, and the way he looked at me, listening to the chaotic nonsense I was talking, didn't add confidence.
You'll see. They'll find us soon.
Looking at his confidence, I smiled. Well, at least it's nice to believe it, so I nodded. The island seems uninhabited, I say. The jungle looks unfriendly.
Most likely. But let's check it anyway. What do you think?
Good idea. Not so good, but maybe we can at least find food. Ted looks behind me and frowns.
Did you hear that?
No, what is it? We peer into the impenetrable jungles for a few seconds, and then we hear a strangled cry. Without hesitation, we run there and see Liz sitting on the ground. Liz? What are you doing here? Where's Adam? Sprinkling questions, I sat next to her and anxiously examined her.
I followed you. I was initially against this idiotic idea, remember?
Liz hissed angrily.
And yes, I'm fine. Thanks for worrying.
Swallowing my resentment, I stood up and silently watched Ted helping her up. She completely ignored me, but even without that, I felt like a third wheel. I felt even worse, and a wave of uncontrollable anger at my friend rolled over. Trying to suppress such an untypical rage, I moved sidewards, lifted my head up, peering into the sky and trying to suppress unwelcome tears coming in my eyes. And then I saw smoke. I turned around and screamed. Do you see this?
Not so uninhabited, it seems.
Ted says thoughtfully. Suddenly, I say, and involuntarily find Liz's hand. We don't have time to discuss what we saw because we hear the ship's horn. And then Adam screams.
Guys, come here!
Without conspiring, we run back.
Dude, you won't believe what we saw there.
Don't get emotional, otherwise it sounds like at least King Kong is there.
Liz chuckled. I didn't like that place.
There's some kind of excavation. You know, in the ground.
Ted continues.
Is it a mine?
Adam raises his eyebrows.
Here?
It's clearly not what we wanted to find, I notice, completely not sharing the excitement about the find. My soul is restless, and a premonition of impending trouble doesn't let go. I feel an acute desire to get on board as soon as possible and forget everything like a nightmare.
But I would check anyway. What if there's gold there?
Unlikely.
But at least it means there are people there who will help us, right?
We're not going to discuss this seriously, are we?
Why not? Quite recently you were so for exploring this island. What changed? Boys, support me. Aren't you interested?
Because it can be dangerous.
You have some kind of double standard, sis. Or is it that everyone will have to go together and not just you and Ted?
And I feel the anger wave again. Can she just forget years of friendship and everything that connected us trying to attract Ted's attention? I've seen the way Liz looks at him. Noticed the interest. I press my teeth. In fact, it's very simple. I can keep silent. We'll just do as Liz wants and go to the mine, ignoring the opportunity to attract the ship's attention. And I can release my rage and respond. I can tell motives of her behavior to Ted right now. To explain in the end that it's not a joke. It's just careless and stupid to miss a chance to escape by choosing a dubious walk to the unknown. I take a deep breath, and then exhale and say, apparently you hit your head hard, since you're ready to wander through the jungle in search of adventure on your ass, which apparently wasn't enough for you considering everything that happened. You're probably right, and under other circumstances it would be an interesting adventure. But now we all shouldn't miss the opportunity to escape right now. Ted smiles and nods.
Absolutely. Let's not try our luck.
The guy approaches and casually removes a hairlock from my face. Even if Liz is upset, she doesn't show it. My friend shrugs her shoulders as if she doesn't care at all and turns away to the sea. I want to touch her shoulder, but Ted grabs my hand and intertwines our fingers. I look up at him and smile. At this moment, it seems there's no one around. Just him, me, and the ocean. So weird, but in such a short time, we got so close that I feel like I've known him all my life, as if he'd always been a part of it.
We should figure out how to attract the ship's attention if we want to get out of here as soon as possible.
Adam reminds, a little embarrassed that he had to interrupt our silent looks dialogue. I blink, coming to my senses, and release my hand, blushing embarrassedly. Ted smiles back apprehensively and a little shyly and winks. So, what's the plan? I ask, looking around the shore. In movies, they usually give signs with a flare or a big bonfire. We don't have either. Guys look at each other. Obviously, no one has any ideas yet.
Let's check which wreckage can help us.
Adam suggests. Me and Ted quickly exchange glances, both perfectly aware that after the crash, there's nothing more or less suitable for signaling the ship. But Ted, with his friends, starts searching rather enthusiastically.
Well,
Liz sighs, watching this hopeless picture with a bored look.
I don't want to seem intrusive, but your ship, by the way, is sailing away.
Guys don't pay attention to her words, rummaging through things, while I roll my eyes, irritated. It's definitely a test, not only for survival, but also for tolerating my friend's obnoxious character. How did I not notice this before? Or in such situations, only the real essence of a person manifests itself. Who has read Robinson Crusoe? It's like a shipwrecked handbook, isn't it? I laugh nervously, trying to cheer up my friends with my awkward joke. Unfortunately, nobody laughs with me, and then I decide to help guys, not knowing what I'm looking for and whether these actions will be of any use. Liz, meanwhile, sits down on the sand and, with her hand folded on her chest, watches our idle attempts, clearly not going to help. I glance at her with displeasure and thoughtfully look at her red dress, contrasting vividly against the background of the blue sea and yellow sand. It lasts for a few seconds, and then I realize. The friend looks back at me and frowns in bewilderment when my lips stretch in an involuntary smile from the thought that came to my mind.
What?
Liz exclaims nervously, not yet realizing what I'm up to. Guys, I sing, turning slightly in their direction. Both guys stop what they're doing and look at me. I think I know how to attract attention. My smile is so joyful that they involuntarily smile back. Everyone except Liz. I look expressively at Liz, then at the guys and back at her. Ted grins knowingly. Adam also yesed, but he's more restrained in his emotions. It's not even clear whether he approves my idea or not, but I don't care, because in fact it's the only suitable option for salvation. My friend looks first at me, then at Ted, and then, when it comes to Adam's turn, she finally understands my plan. We are still friends, which means our thoughts are similar.
Just try it!
Liz practically spits out in a rage, jumping to her feet. We'll just borrow it, I comfort her, taking a step forward. I stand on the ship deck and squeeze the cool railing with my palms until I'm numb. My gaze rests on the rapidly receding island. Soon it's barely noticeable, but I keep looking in that direction, trying to realize that everything has ended and we are safe. It's scary to imagine what could have happened if my plan hadn't worked with Liz's dress. In fact, everything went great. Ted had to strip down to his underwear and give his thanks to get the angry Liz, and Adam had to climb a palm tree and wave a red piece of cloth, risking falling down every second. But in the end, we did it. A soft, pleasant-to-the-touch fabric covers my shoulders, and I turn around.
I thought you needed it.
Ted says, lightly putting his arm around my waist and standing next to me. Thanks, I smile. Liz and Adam are not visible on the deck, but it's so nice to know that we are all completely safe.
Do you want to go out together when we get back?
The guy offers, thoughtfully peering at the horizon while waiting for my answer. Pretending that I thought about this decision very carefully, I finally nod. Why not? If the date will be organized on solid ground and without vehicles, I chuckle.
Then I suggest using lower limbs for their intended purpose and just take a walk in the park.
Ted laughs softly. I laugh back, leaning my head against his shoulder and pulling the blanket closer around my chest. Great idea. And safe, isn't it?